I am really new to working with air dry clay. I really don't know what I'm doing yet. And I have these snowflake molds. They're really more for epoxy resin or other types of applications, but I wanted to give the air dry clay a try in these, and I failed miserably. What I'm trying to create is a Christmas ornament like this. It is so gorgeous. You see how the snowflake just kind of overlaps or just kind of hugs the top of the ornament. That's what I'm trying to create. And I know I'm using these molds wrong. These are resin molds. They're way too detailed to be putting the clay in like I was doing. These are more intricate, and I don't think the clay is really going to work. So I watched a couple more YouTube videos, and after really working my clay a little bit, I am going to use hey, you like my fancy rolling pin? I just didn't feel like going to the kitchen and getting my rolling pin. So I'm using this very random bottle of red wine vinegar. Why do I have red wine vinegar in my craft room? I do not know. I'm sure there's a reason. But anyway, it worked fine. So I'm rolling it out kind of flat and thin, and then I'm going to use this mold like a stamp. And let me tell you, it really worked out well. I'm just centering it on the clay and pressing down, and I think I probably could have pressed down a little bit more to really get the edges down a little bit, and I would not have had to cut around with my craft knife. But look at that. It works just like a stamp. And, yeah, that's the way I need to do it from now on. But these look so much like the pizzellis that I make at Christmas. So I am having to take my little X-Acto knife to cut around the very edge of the snowflake, but I think I could press down on the very edge of the mold as I'm pressing it into the clay and be able to really get a more crisp edge and not have to use my knife. So this really didn't take very long, but I wanted to get, as close as I could to the snowflake. And I'm going to use a 6-inch plastic ball from the Dollar Tree. I painted it with Rust-Oleum hammered pewter and then used my hairdryer to dry it really quick. Then I turned the ornament upside down and pressed the center hole in the middle of the snowflake and pressed down really good and used it like a cookie cutter just to cut a hole out in the middle of the snowflake. Then I very gently lifted the snowflake up, took away the hole, or the middle, like a donut hole, I guess, and just used a really thin layer of Mod Podge on the back side of the snowflake. Then I gently lifted it up, although I probably didn't need to be so gentle. This stuff's kind of tough and easy to work with. And then I just put it over the hole, press down really gently, and there it is. I mean, isn't it pretty? I really love it. And I think I said gently 4 or 5 times. I don't know. I lost count. And now I'm going to make some smaller snowflakes, and this mold I have pretty good confidence in because, first of all, the little snowflakes are pretty small, and I have some experience working with the smaller molds when I made the turtles and the starfish on the previous project. And I do have to apologize for my nasally voice. I've had a cold the last couple of days, and so I kind of sound like a sick walrus, but I am getting over it. I'm no longer hacking up a lung. Okay, so what I'm doing here, I'm dusting it with cornstarch. I saw this trick on a YouTube video. So this is the cornstarch is supposed to help the clay not stick to the mold. And I think it was working a little bit too good. Or I was just adding too much clay into the mold, because it really was just not working out for me. And I think that's what it was. I was just adding a little bit too much clay, and I was being kind of impatient and not really working the clay enough. And that's completely my fault, but I was just trying to do too much. It just was not working out. I mean, you can see I'm getting frustrated with it, and, just getting frustrated. So I'm being honest. I'm full disclosure. Not everything is, peaches and cream with YouTube videos. So you see how it's popping out. I mean, the cornstarch works really well. It's just popping right out. And of course, I took my little stick and I'm trying to really smush it down into the mold, and all. It just was not working out. So plan B here. I think there were maybe one or two that were salvageable, and they turned out okay, but the rest of them were just muddy messes, and I ended up just stripping all the clay out and starting over. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with just saying, yep, I screwed up. Let's just give it another go. And so round 2 worked a little bit better. I decided not to use any cornstarch. I think that just made it a little bit too slick. And I'm using smaller pieces of clay and just kind of smooshing it into the mold, and trying not to do too many snowflakes at once. So, one at a time, I think, was just a little bit of a better plan. And then that way I can pick and choose which snowflakes I want to make. Because I think I'm only making the bigger ones. I mean, some of the patterns are a little bit, I guess, more detailed than the others. These are so cute. I mean, look at that. How cute would this look with maybe some mica powders, or you know what would look really cute is if you got creative in the kitchen and used this as a butter mold. I think that would look cute, but I'm not that creative in the kitchen, honestly. Now, I did end up dusting with the cornstarch again, because I want to, because I'm so new at this. I do want to try different techniques, and I think with this mold, I really prefer not using the cornstarch. That's just my personal preference. I really don't think you really need it that much. I made a little pedestal out of 2 pieces of pool noodle. I've taped them together. I use this pedestal when I'm working on wine glasses, when I'm using water slide decals and I need to, elevate the wine glass, or when I'm using the sea foam. I think if you've watched my videos, you've probably seen these before. So this is Mod Podge. I'm just pouring a little bit of Mod Podge in the lid there, and I'm taking a little paintbrush and I'm putting a thin layer of the Mod Podge on the back side of the snowflake. These are, the clay is still wet. And then just putting that on the ornament and sort of smooshing it down, and it sticks really well. And I'm just going to do that all around the ornament. It's really random. I'm not trying to create a pattern or anything. And then I'm just setting it aside and letting it dry overnight. I did leave this to dry overnight, but I'm pretty sure it probably wouldn't have taken overnight to dry. I think it dries pretty quickly. I think this is cute just like it is. But I am going to paint it with a bright copper metallic paint from Art Minds. And I just want to make sure to shake it really well and stir it really well, just to get all of the pigments mixed up nice and thorough. And I'm just going to use this soft makeup brush that I got from the Dollar Tree, because it's very soft bristled. It works really well for this kind of application, I think, because I'm not really wanting to use a whole lot of paint. This is not a really opaque color anyway. It's really more of a translucent color, and it's just adding that little bit of shine and a little bit of contrast. It's really pretty. I mean, look at that. It's just enough gold to really add a shimmer and a kind of an old world vintagey look. I really like it. And I'm gonna put the and this is just one of my cup turner arms, and it's just helping me to kind of to hold on to this bauble so that it doesn't flop all over the place. And I'm really just slopping on the paint now with the paintbrush and not really painting it on. I'm just kind of, scrubbing it in there just to get into all the nooks and crannies of these snowflakes, because let me tell you, these are this is a really detailed mold. Like, I'm really impressed with the amount of detail that I'm able to get with this air dry clay in these molds. So I'm just kind of rubbing this paint all over the place. Like I said, it's really translucent, it's not opaque, and just trying to get into and making sure that all of the white is covered. That's the last thing I wanted, was for any of that white to be showing. And I'm not really happy with the brush marks, but I have a plan for that. And I did try to dab with the paintbrush, but it's kind of not really working all that well, and it's bending the bristles, and I think I'm just going to end up ruining the brush. Well, I mean, it's from the dollar store. I could go buy another one. I am trying to smooth it out as much as I can, but I just do not like these brush marks at all, y'all. So I got out my foam pouncer, and I just started dabbing away the excess paint, and that really smoothed out the lines and eliminated those brush marks. So that worked out really well, and it just got up the excess paint too. And then I did leave that to dry for a couple of hours, and I really like it. I just look how shiny it is. I know I could do better. This is my first one, so I know I could do better, but I'm really happy with this first try. I did take the silver cap and just spray painted it with some black Rust-Oleum just to kind of antique it a little bit and give it a all over vintage flair. And now we just need a way to hang it. I had this little piece of burlap twine. I thought I would use it, but then I had a better idea. I have all kinds of little ribbon scraps that I've been collecting over the years, and I thought I would use this cute reindeer ribbon, but then I found this beautiful piece of shimmery gold mesh ribbon that was almost a perfect match, and it was almost the perfect length too. So I just tied that on and it cut the ends so that they would be nice and even, and tied it in a knot at the top, and it's absolutely perfect. Really had fun making this one. This is another one that I'm going to keep and put it on my own tree. So give it a try. Let me know what you think in the comments. Merry Christmas.